All right. It looks like we're live. Hello, Jane. Welcome. Hi, everybody if you don't know me, I am Ann Neustahl-Verdorn with theDr.com. I am just quickly here to introduce Jane, just like Dr. Tom always does. I don't want to mess anything up, so I'm just going to read it from the screen here. So this is Jane Hogan, the wellness engineer. She blends science and spirituality to help people release chronic pain using the mind, body, and breath so that they can become empowered creators of their own health. And we've invited Jane to participate as part of our 10-day Leaky Gut Challenge. And I decided, why not share this awesome event with everybody? So welcome, Jane. I'm going to go ahead and go off screen, and you are welcome to get started.
Thanks so much for having me, Anne. I'm really thrilled to be here. And hello to everyone who's participating in Dr. Tom's challenge. I'm really honored to be here and share with you something that I absolutely love teaching, and that's about the breath and how the breath can help us. And you might be wondering, what does the breath have to do with leaky gut? You know, I'm breathing. What's that got to do with my belly? Breath isn't going anywhere in there. Breath impacts every aspect of our health, right down to every single little cell in our body. And on top of that, the breath directly impacts our level of stress. So if we're feeling stressed, we can calm it down right away. And of course, our stress levels impact our gut health. And the other thing is that of course, part of our digestive system is removing toxins, but we also remove toxins in other ways. So the breath is actually one of the #1 detox pathways in the body. So a lot of great things about the breath. And of course, breath is life. It's life in our body. We breathe from our first moment to our last moment, and what we do in between is breathe. And it's also one of the functions of the body that the metabolic functions that can either be automatic, right? Or we can control it, which is interesting. There's not very many that we can do that with, but the breath is one of them. So you might think that if this is automatic, why would I be doing it wrong? I must be breathing the right way. But actually, a lot of us are not breathing the right way or in the best way for our body. So to kind of go through some ways that a lot of us are not breathing properly, I'll go through 4 of the common ways that we're not breathing properly. And maybe you might recognize some of this in yourself. And I will also explain how you can maybe switch that around. And then we'll go through some breath work techniques. And then I'm going to leave you with a really lovely one called heart resonance breathing. And there's also a little gift there for you. You can download the little 3-minute heart focused breathing if you want to have it to listen to anytime. I'm guiding you through it. All right. So first of all, 4 ways that a lot of people are breathing the wrong way. And actually, the stats on this, there's a lot of people, anywhere from, I forget the actual number now, but because different studies say different things, but a high percentage of the population is breathing dysfunctionally. So in other words, they're not breathing in a way that serves us optimally. #1 problem is mouth breathing as opposed to nasal breathing. So I'm talking now, so I'm actually breathing through my mouth, but most of the time we are meant to breathe through our nose. And the reason for that is our nasal passage helps warm the air, it helps pressurize the air, there's filters there, it actually starts to clean the air. And then also when we breathe in through our nose, in our nasal cavity there, we create nitric oxide, which is a dilator. So that actually helps open the airways. It also helps open and helps us absorb more air when it goes down the lungs. So we're much more efficient breathing through our nose than breathing through the mouth. So you may notice and all I'm asking you to do is have some awareness. Notice, are you breathing mostly through your nose or mostly through your mouth? So you, most of the time, right? So if you notice that you're breathing through your mouth, start breathing through your nose a bit more often. And if you have a little bit of congestion there, so some people may say, well, I can't breathe through my nose because I'm blocked up there. Well, you can try just holding your breath. So have a normal breath in and a normal breath out, and just plug your nose, and you can kind of shift your head around or even walk around. And that helps build up that nitric oxide I was talking about. That will help open it up. You may have to do it a few times, but that's a great way to start getting yourself to switch around from mouth to nasal breathing. Now at night when we're asleep, of course, we don't really know. It's hard to have any awareness when we're asleep. So at night, you could get some micropore tape. Just, you can order it online or buy it in a store, just like the size of a postage stamp. Stick it across the lips, and that kind of will help your mind remember to keep the mouth closed while you're sleeping. Now, you if you're waking up with a dry mouth, or if you've got a partner that tells you that you're snoring, that could be a sign that you're mouth breathing at night. So we want to switch to nasal breathing as much as possible. The thing is, when you're talking a lot like I'm doing now, that's kind of hard to breathe through your nose. So maybe you can take little pauses while you're talking to breathe in through your nose. So that's number one, mouth breathing instead of nasal breathing. We want to switch it to nasal breathing. Number two is breathing in the chest. So breathing up here instead of breathing into the belly. So shallow breathing. Breathing just into the chest is more associated with that, the fight, flight, fear, freeze. So that's the sympathetic state of the nervous system, as opposed to the rest, digest, relax, repair, rejuvenate state, which is the parasympathetic state. Now, our gut can't heal, right? We want to heal leaky gut. Our gut can't heal if we are in that sympathetic state. So we want to get ourselves back into that parasympathetic state. The breath is probably the fastest way to do that. And we can do that. We can help that happen if we breathe down into the belly instead of just up here. So when I say the belly, obviously the air isn't going into the belly. The air is going into the lower part of our lungs. But if you look at the shape of the lungs, they're actually bigger. So you can get a better breath through when you breathe into the lower part of the lungs. And also the lower part of the lungs have sensors that trigger that rest, digest, sympathetic state, parasympathetic state of the nervous system. So it can help you relax really quickly. So if I say to you, take a big breath, put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and take a big breath, and notice where you feel movement. Maybe you only feel movement in your chest. Maybe you only feel movement in your belly. If you feel movement in your belly, that's good. If you're feeling movement just in your chest, probably a sign that you need to be aware and take more notice about breathing into the belly. I'll give you a little hint though that I find really helpful for breathing into the belly, because I was a chest breather. It totally was a chest breather all the time. I was in that sympathetic state all the time. So I really had to, like, how do I breathe into my belly? I had to teach my body how to do it. And we all know how to do this because when we were babies, we were belly breathers. Just watch any baby, you'll notice their belly rising up and down. If you look at a cat sleeping, you'll notice its belly is moving, not its chest. So you know how to do this. You just need to teach your body to do it again. But what I find is really helpful is to start with an exhale. So, and the exhale is like pulling your belly button back towards your spine. So just start with that. Then when you inhale, you can like push the belly out, and that gives, because you've already done the exhale, when you inhale, it's like giving it space for the breath to go down into. So try that, breathing into the belly. You may need to practice it a lot. If you are a chest breather, like this might be something that, I really have to work at this. And you can just practice it, you're just teaching your body a new muscle memory. That's all it is. It's like going to the gym and working out. So breathing into the belly, it is really good. So we're actually, we are breathing into the lower lungs, but our diaphragm, which is that, it's like an umbrella shaped muscle that's underneath our lungs. When we breathe into the lower part of the lungs, that shifts down, which pushes the belly out. So we've covered nasal breathing instead of mouth breathing, belly breathing instead of only into the chest. And then another one that a lot of people are doing is breathing too fast. So just too quick a rate, right? So when we breathe fast like that, that's also activating that sympathetic state, the fight, flight, fear, freeze state, as opposed to the rest, digest, relax, the parasympathetic state. So again, we want to heal our gut. We need to get ourselves into that parasympathetic state, that beautiful state of rest, digest, repair, rejuvenate, as much as we can. And we can do this with the breath, and we can slow down the breath, and that will help. If you think about it, if you've got to run, then you're going to be breathing very, very quickly. That's the the fight, flight, fear, right? We're like, if you're afraid, you're breathing very quickly. So it's kind of like you may be afraid, and that will cause you to breathe very quickly, but also quick breathing can activate that state. So again, we just have to consciously teach ourselves to slow it down a little bit. So we just slow it down. So instead of just start to notice how quickly you're breathing. So a good rate to kind of aim for, and I'll talk about some different, we'll go through some together actually, but think about maybe breathing in for 5 in the beginning, and then exhaling for 5. So breathing into the belly, and then you can just count in your head. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Exhale. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. Inhale. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, and so on. So counting your breath is a great way to help you slow it down so that you're not breathing too fast. And then the fourth thing that is a lot of people are doing is breathing too much. And this happens even with a lot of people that are yogis and teaching breath work is like, take a deep breath. But when we breathe too much, so we can actually have too much oxygen floating around in our bloodstream, and that actually, so it's too much oxygen and not enough carbon dioxide to balance it out. And then in a paradoxical way, if we don't have enough carbon dioxide, if we've got too much oxygen relative to carbon dioxide, the oxygen can't get into the cells. So the carbon dioxide is needed to shuttle the oxygen into the cells. And so if we got too much oxygen, then we're not getting the carbon dioxide into those cells, the oxygen into the cells. And so they're not going to be able to function. Every single cell in our body has a respiratory effect. It does its own respiration. And then our respiration system has to take that out. So we want to not take two big breaths. Now, a great way to do this is to just lengthen out the exhale, or even have a little pause. After you inhale, have a little pause, lengthen out the exhale, have a little pause, inhale, or just simply keep your exhales longer than the inhales. So those are the common ways that we are possibly breathing incorrectly. And so what we want to do is just, as I said, train the body to breathe in a different way. So we might need to teach ourselves, okay, there may need to be a little bit of air hunger there. it's almost like eating too much, right? If we overeat, we might need to train our body. I'm not really hungry. I can wait. I don't have to eat right now. In a similar way, we can train our body to say, I'm not really that hungry for air. I can wait a little bit. And so by slowing down that breath and having that pause, lengthening out the exhale, we can teach our body that we can wait a little bit, let that carbon dioxide build up in the blood a little bit so that we got a good match between the oxygen and the carbon dioxide so that we get all the oxygen getting into our cells. Yeah, because sometimes you may even, if you've ever noticed tingling in your fingers or toes, or they get cold a lot, that might be a sign that you're not getting enough oxygen to those extremities, right? Because the body will prioritize the core. Another sign that you may be overbreathing is a lot of sighing. So if you notice that you're sighing a lot, that could be a sign as well. So just good things to know, right? Really good things to know so that you can say, well, maybe I can try this out. So let's just talk about how you could implement this, because you're doing a challenge now, probably trying some other things of what you're going to do. So I'm going to suggest that you add breathing to part of your daily challenge. So perhaps you might want to try some of these, a few times, maybe first thing when you wake up in the morning or at the end of the day before you eat is a great time as well. But let's talk about what you could try to do, okay? So let's talk about some breathing patterns. So first of all, let's just do some of this together, actually. So I'm going to invite you to wherever you are right now. Just sit comfortably on your chair, or you could even lie down if you wanted to, and put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and just close your eyes and close your mouth. And just tune in to your breathing. Don't try to change anything yet. Just tune into your breathing. Notice if your chest is moving, or notice if your belly is moving, or maybe you got a little bit of both. Just pay attention to what you're doing. And let's now see if we can make the belly move in and out a little bit more. So we'll exhale by pulling the belly button back towards the spine as you exhale. And now inhale, imagine that now your breath is going right down into the belly. And exhale. Squeezing the belly, pulling it back towards the spine. Inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, bring the belly button back towards the spine. Inhale, fill up the belly. You might even want to imagine as you're breathing here that your belly is like a balloon. So imagine it's a balloon that inflates on the inhale and deflates on the exhale. And now let's add in a little bit of counting. So we'll start with an exhale. And now inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little pause, and now exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might even want to imagine a box. So some people do find this helpful, that they imagine the inhale is one side of the box. And then there's a little pause that represents the other side of the box. And then exhale, going around the box. And then a pause, representing the other side of the box. We'll try that again. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. So box breathing is another one you could try, and you could also try lengthening out the exhale. So maybe we'll try breathing in for 5 and then exhaling for 7. So try that. Inhale, actually exhale first, pull your belly back. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, slow it down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll just invite you to open your eyes again now. And so those are some different things you can play around with. And depending on where you are with your breathing, you might, first of all, just have to focus on belly breathing for a while. And that's totally fine. There's no rush, to get there. You're teaching your body a new thing, and it may take time. If you're already into a belly breathing, then maybe you might want to play around with different counted breathing patterns. Maybe the box breathing works for you. Maybe you just want to imagine being in a peaceful place. So being in a place where you felt really peaceful and calm, or maybe with someone that you love, maybe you're just going to imagine that, and then that can help calm the breathing down. And every time you do this, remember, you're helping your gut heal. I really want to leave you with a breath, though, that's absolutely beautiful. And I should have mentioned, too, that there's tons of science behind all of this, how powerful breath work is in all aspects of health, in helping to reverse inflammation, in actually improving sleep, lowering stress for sure, but also improving cognitive thinking. So better decision making, also associated with higher test scores. So there's all kinds of great science behind the power of using the breath to help calm you right down. So the one I want to leave you with, and it's also the gift, is heart focused breathing. It's or sometimes it's called heart resonance breathing. So it's a way of connecting our breathing with the heart, and that helps enhance communication between the heart and the brain. It also creates coherence in the heart. Sometimes it's called heart coherence breathing. And when we have this coherence in the heart, we improve heart rate variability, which is an indicator, probably the number one indicator of health and longevity. And we get all those benefits I talked about, like better, our brain thinks better, our brain starts to come online, activating the parasympathetic system. So it's a really beautiful breath. So I invite you again now to close your eyes. Close your eyes. And this time we'll just put one hand or both hands on your heart area. So let's just do what we did before, and first just begin to notice the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Slowing it down. Now I want you to imagine that as you breathe in, imagine you're breathing into the heart. Inhaling and exhaling. And every time you inhale, imagine that the air is coming in and filling up your heart space, filling up the area around the heart. Really tuning into the heart. Keeping that breath slow. And now I'd like for you to recall a time when you felt love. Or maybe imagine a time in the future where you feel love. So maybe it's a person or a pet, or maybe it's a place or an event. While you're continuing to breathe, just think about this person, place, event, and really put yourself there. Notice the colors you see. Notice anything you hear. Notice if you smell anything, what you feel. Notice that feeling of love. And now come into your heart. Feel that feeling of love in your heart. Every breath, you're expanding it. Imagine that it gets even bigger than the heart. Imagine it gets as big as your body, completely filling up your body. Imagine it's even outside your body. Perhaps you might imagine a color like it's sparkly white cloud around you. And imagine it doubles in size, so it's even bigger now. Imagine it even fills up the room that you're in. Feels so good. And now pull all that loving feeling right back into your heart again. Say, this is for me. You're generating this loving presence within you. And we'll just take another couple of breaths here, just feeling this feel-good, loving feeling within us. Now really gently and slowly, I invite you to open your eyes. So you just experienced heart resonance breathing or heart focused breathing. And what's so beautiful about this is that you have generated this. I helped you, I guided you, but you can generate this anytime you want. And this feeling of love, it's a master healer. They actually know that they can measure this energy from our heart, even outside of our physical body. So when you are imagining it beyond your body, it's not just imagination, it's actually real. So you can create this loving feeling, which is like a master healer, and it can help heal the gut. And it also puts you in a parasympathetic state, which helps to heal the gut. It helps all the systems in your body work better and take away toxins, and your digestive system work better, and the immune system work better, and your endocrine system work better. All of these systems, your heart, your cardiovascular system work better. So it's a very beautiful gift that you can give to yourself. So again, how do you incorporate this into your life? I suggest, like, first when you wake up in the morning before you get out of bed, see if you can just tune into your heart and generate that loving feeling. Before meals is a great time to do it, because when you get yourself into that parasympathetic state, when you're eating, you're going to digest your food better, you're going to absorb nutrients better, you're going to help heal the gut. And then again, you could do it perhaps before bedtime. So when you get in bed, you turn off the light. That's a great time to do it, and it will help you sleep better, because you're sending a signal to your body that all is well, and you're telling your brain it's time to sleep. All is good. I can relax and shut everything down. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I'm really thankful that you are here, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to talk to you about this. And I really hope that you incorporate this into your daily life. And I do have that little gift for you. It's just a little 3-minute heart resonance breath or heart focus breathing. You can download, put on your device, listen to whenever you like while you're learning this. And then after a while, you'll just be able to do this on your own. So thank you so much for being here today, and for being part of this, and for honoring yourself and your health, and making your life better for yourself and for all the people around you and the earth. So thanks so much, Anne, for having me. It was an absolute pleasure to be here.
Thanks so much for being with us, Jane. It was amazing. I got to tell, full transparency, everybody, I had some extreme technology issues right before I went online with Jane, and the breathing just somehow told me, hey, it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Yes. So for those of you who know, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. It didn't go perfectly, but you know what? That was amazing, Jane. Thank you so much. And before we say goodbye, where can people learn a little bit more about you and the work that you do?
Oh, they can probably go to my website is the best thing, janehoganhealth.com.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. I hope you found that helpful. And thank you, Jane, so much for sharing your gift and mind with us today.
Oh, absolutely my pleasure and great honor. Thank you.